You're tuned into Therapy Matters with Dr. Radisha, the show designed to educate listeners regarding the importance of mental health and to remove the stigma associated with mental health treatment. Join our host, Dr. Radisha Brown, as she explores the latest developments in mental health.
Welcome to another episode of Therapy Matters, a show brought to you by Holistic Living with Dr. Radisha. I'm your host, Dr. Radisha Brown. Thank you for choosing to this time and this moment to tune in to our show weeknights at 9 p.m., where I like to say I take you to bed. So tonight we're going to have a little bit of a different show where you won't have a guest because I will be discussing my new book, Girl, Get Off the Couch, which has been on Amazon's best-selling list for the last couple of weeks. So I'm so excited about this project. You guys have heard me talk about this book for quite a while. It's finally out. It's finally available on Amazon.com, and you guys have responded so positively to the new book. So thank you, thank you, thank you. But before we get into the book, we're going to be talking about our mental health tip of today. And today deals with, I want to provide you a tip when you are feeling overwhelmed and stressed out. I want you to talk to someone that you trust. It may seem very simple, but talking to someone that you trust in moments when you're feeling overwhelmed, when you're feeling lost, when you need support, when you need encouragement is a great way to de-stress, to realign your body, mind, and spirit, and to start on a new journey and start on a new path. So, and that could be a friend, a family member, or a professional like a licensed therapist. So I want you guys to think about and to put in your toolbox of coping skills when you are feeling overwhelmed to talk to someone that you trust. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get into the show. Again, we're going to be talking about my new book, Girl, Get Off the Couch, Stop the Self-Hate and Lose the Weight. I have been so excited about launching this book for probably the last 6 months to a year, and it's been a journey. It's been a tremendous journey. Part of the reason it's taken so long for me to launch this book is because it's a personal journey, my personal journey from being 220, 240 pounds to a healthy size 6. But let me emphasize, size is not what's important. What is important is through that journey, I've been able to find my balance between my mind, my body, and my spirit, which it takes balance to find peace and to find healing. And I wanted to show that depression and weight issues has no face, has no race, because even as a licensed therapist, I struggled with depression. You guys have heard me talk very openly about my struggle with depression and the fact that I had to go and get professional help. And that's why I'm so excited to do this show, to talk, to have candid conversations with you guys so that you know there's no shame in it, there's no stigma to it, and if you're in pain and you are struggling, to seek out professional help from a licensed therapist or physician. So my book, Girl, Get Off the Couch, basically talks through all of the major traumatic points in my life that caused me to use food as my coping mechanism. Some people use alcohol, some people use hypersexuality, some people use drugs, but many people use food. Food is the most abused drug out there. So I was not alone in my struggle. Many of us have struggled with using food to cope with emotional pain. That's why I think it's so important that we have honest dialogue, honest conversations about it, so we understand that we're not alone in this process and help is available and change is available. So I thought the best way to do that is through a story, and my story. That's why I felt compelled to write this book, Girl, Get Off the Couch, Stop the Self-Hate, and Lose the Weight. I struggled for a little while to put all the personal things that I have in there in the book, because although I do a radio show and I do TV and other things, I'm really a private person. I'm a very private person. Those that know me in my personal life know that I keep things kind of to myself. And for years, that's how I dealt with pain and struggle. I kept it to myself. I didn't tell people that I was in pain, even though on the outside I looked like I was, quote, unquote, fine, or I was, quote, unquote, the strong person. And if you are the person that everybody considers the strong person, they don't tend to believe that you need help or ask you if you need help. So that was me. I was the strong friend. I was the person that everybody turned to talk about their issues, to get hope and encouragement. And it felt like I didn't have anybody to talk to about my issues and my pain and my struggles. And it took me making changes. It took me seeking the help of a professional therapist to work through my own personal struggles so that I can find peace and happiness and healing. And that's what this book talks about. Talks through, the beginning is very difficult because I talk about my childhood and how it relates to my decision to use food to cope, because I grew up in foster care. You guys have heard me mention that before. If you haven't, yes, I am a product of the state of South Carolina's foster care system. My mom was addicted to drugs and alcohol and wasn't able to raise us due to her own addiction and her own pain. My grandmother raised us until she suddenly died when I was around 9.5 years old. So from that point onward, me and my siblings were in foster care, and it was a very difficult process. It was a struggle, and I talk very candidly about that pain in my book because I want you to understand that the decision to use food or whatever you choose to use to cope with your pain, to find healing, to find peace, to find restoration, you have to go back and understand what the root cause is and deal with that pain that you've been avoiding, like I avoided for so many years. I didn't want to talk about being in foster care. I didn't want to talk about the pain and the shame and the feelings of worthlessness and hopelessness that I felt in those moments going through the foster care system, going from home to home to home, feeling unsure and unbalanced and not at peace within myself and feeling like I was invisible many times. So instead of outwardly talking about those things and dealing with it, I turned my anger inwardly. I turned my anger inward towards myself, which left me with a significant emotional pain and feelings of hopelessness and helplessness and feeling like my life would never get better. Despite my educational achievements, it still felt like I was that lost, unwanted foster kid. And food became my best friend. Food became my lover. Food became who I turned to in times of grief, in times of sorrow, in times of pain. Food was my best friend. And as you can imagine, it took a toll on me emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. I felt physical pain all over my body. Like, that's one of the side effects for emotional pain is physical pain. People attribute depression to just emotional feelings, but there is a physical element to depression. You have physical symptoms related to depression. For me, it was physical pain. It was not attributed to anything physically wrong. It was attributed to my depression, my feelings, my thoughts, and it manifests itself with physical pain. So if you are dealing with a lot of physical pain and there's no physical explanation, there's no medical symptom or diagnosis attributed to that, you may be dealing with clinical depression, because that's one of the symptoms. That's one of the hallmark symptoms of clinical depression. It certainly was the case for me. And once I realized that if I don't get my butt off of the couch, which is why the book is called Girl, Get Off the Couch, I was going to die. I was certainly shortening my life expectancy by years, and the doctors didn't hold any punches letting me know. my cholesterol numbers were off the chart. My inflammation numbers were off the chart. I was pre-diabetic. You name it. If it was bad, that was me. That was me. I was the poster child for overeating and using food to cope with my emotions. And specifically, I loved fried chicken. And fried chicken, for me, gave me emotional support because it was one of those things that my grandmother would make for us on Sundays. You know, we grew up very poor, but somehow there was special love and special attention on Sundays when she would make us fried chicken and collard greens and rice and all the hallmarks of a soul food dinner. She would pull out in all the stops for Sundays, and it just gave me such comfort and love and acceptance. So that's what I chose to turn to in those moments when I didn't feel loved, when I didn't feel accepted, when I didn't feel whole. I turned to fried chicken, for example, and I ate a whole bunch of fried chicken. And in fact, some of the chicken places here knew me by first name, last name, knew when I was coming because I was a repeat customer, a constant repeat customer. And I know it's cliche to be in the South and loving fried chicken, but for me, it wasn't just liking fried chicken on occasion. It was, I have to have fried chicken all the time, day after day after day. And in fact, I went months eating fried chicken every day, which for so many people seems impossible. But when you are in emotional pain, when you are clinically depressed, and you're looking for those little small glimmers of hope, those little small glimmers of comfort, and it just happens to be this one thing. For me, it was fried chicken. For you, it may be a sip of alcohol. For somebody else, it may be drugs. Or for somebody else, it may be hypersexuality. Whatever that glimmer of hope is, you hold on to it and you try to keep it as close as possible to you. And that was me. That was my struggle. That was my story. And it took time for me to find healing. And I talk about in the book that healing is not an overnight process. The hardest part about change is not that we're not motivated to change. That's just a lie. Most people, like myself, that are overweight, know and want to change. I wanted to lose the weight. I was motivated to lose the weight. The problem is I just didn't think I was worthy of it. So if you are struggling with losing weight or going back to school or starting a business or building a better relationship with your family member, with your significant other, with your children, it's not that you're not motivated to change or that you don't have the desire to do it. The problem is you don't believe you're worthy of the effort required to change. And that's a game changer for us. That is a game changer. And what I talk about in the book is shifting your thought process, shifting your mindset so that you can be on the path towards healing, towards restoration, towards finding balance within yourself so that you can have balance with your relationships, balance on your job, and you can go after your dream that you've been wanting to do for so long. Go after the things that you most desire, but your mindset has been holding you back. For me, it held me back from losing the weight. And until I was ready to face that pain from childhood, that pain from young adulthood, those traumatic events that happened that I was trying to hide and cover, I wasn't able to find relief. I wasn't able to find balance and peace. And it's a very difficult thing to lay out your truth in front of the world. And honestly, I struggled with it for quite a while. In fact, my publisher, Jesus Coffee and Prayer, they constantly were like, we need the manuscript. We can't publish anything without it. And I kept saying, I'm just not ready. I'm just not ready to share my whole world with the world. I'm not ready to show people my most intimate vulnerabilities and my struggles and basically all of me. But as I prayed and asked God for guidance, as you guys know, I'm a Christian, and I'm very clear about that. I don't tell you what to believe, but that's just my faith walk. I found peace in believing that I will help other people. And in fact, I've had so many women reach out to tell me, like, that sounds like me. That was me. And that gives me such great comfort and validation and excitement and enjoyment, knowing that my story helps you. And when you're reading the book, I want you to start the process of shifting your mind, shifting your thoughts, shifting your beliefs, so that you can start building yourself up, building your mental, physical, and spiritual aspects, so that you can face whatever that traumatic event is, whatever the thing is that you've been pushing away, hiding away, and tucking in suitcases and trying to lock away for so many years like I did. I want you to be able to walk in your truth, and I want you to be able to face whatever that is with the appropriate licensed professional, so that you can find healing and peace. That's why I wrote the book. That's why I'm so excited about sharing my truth with you, so that you can find healing on your own journey. That's what it's about, finding healing on your journey, using my story and picking and learning so that you can excel on your own journey, on your own path. That's why I wrote Girl Get Off the Couch, which you can find on Amazon.com or on my website, Girl Get Off the Couch. All right. Please continue to listen, because we're going to continue this conversation right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back with more Therapy Matters with Dr. Radisha.
Hey ladies, have you heard? Dr. Radisha is giving away freebies to help you on your wellness journey. All you have to do is sign up online at girlgetoffthecouch.com and take advantage of this free offer. Again, head over to girlgetoffthecouch.com today.
Welcome back to Therapy Matters with Dr. Radisha. If you're just joining us, you are missing a very intimate discussion of my new book, Girl Get Off the Couch, Stop the Self-Hate and Lose the Weight. Yes, I am now Amazon's newest best-selling author, and I'm so excited to share this work with you, which is my personal journey from being 220, 240 pounds to a healthy size 6. Now, I emphasize that size is not the answer. Being a size 6 is not the answer for everyone, but it is my journey, my story, my testament that I share with you, so that you can learn that if weight is not the primary issue. That's one of the big secrets that I reveal in the book, that I'm giving you firsthand on this show, is that weight is not the primary issue, although that's what we see outwardly. What's the real issue is how we think and feel about ourselves. If you want to change your weight, you have to first change how you think and feel about yourself. And it's a complete game changer, and it's a different way to think about weight, a way in which most people are not talking about. That's why I was so passionate and so driven about writing this book and sharing it with you, sharing my personal journey with you, because it took me understanding, not just as a mental health therapist that I work with women all the time, but my own personal journey to understand that the foods in which we eat, yes, they contribute to weight, but that's not the primary issue if you're struggling with weight issue. If you're struggling with any addiction, if you're just struggling with drug addiction, if you're struggling with alcoholism, if you're struggling with hypersexuality, if you're struggling with food like I was, weight is not your primary issue. I know you're sitting there thinking, what? Weight is not the issue? That's what I see. But weight is just a side effect of what we think about ourselves, how we feel about ourselves, and that inner critic that we're telling ourselves. So that inner person that's telling ourselves, you're not good enough, you're worthless, you are not smart enough, you can't open a business, you can't go back to school, which are all the things in which I told myself. And we have to change that dynamic in order to change your weight, in order to change your lifestyle, in order to change your relationships, in order to change your status at work, in order to change any area of your life in which you want to change, that you want to balance, that you want to find peace with, that you want to find healing with. You have to first start with your mindset. Yes, you have to start with your mindset and how you think and feel about yourself if you want permanent, long-lasting results. And that permanent result can be weight. That permanent result can be relationship. That permanent result can be job performance or starting your own business or going to school. Whatever that is for you, that's what healing can give you, which is permanent, whatever that the dream is, that goal is that you have. For me, it was a difficult journey to walk through that pain of childhood, to walk through that pain of early adulthood, to walk through the pain of feeling not good enough and feeling so alone, even though there were people in the room, still feeling alone and by myself and not feeling safe to let people emotionally into my circle, emotionally into my life. And if that sounds like you, it's so many of us that outwardly look like we're completely fine. Like I was heavy, but people thought I was completely fine. Inwardly, I'm screaming, I'm yelling, I'm begging for help, and no one heard my cries. And it took me in prayer one day and facing the fact of, hey, you're going to die sooner than you anticipated. You're well on your way to developing type 2 diabetes, or you may have already been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. You're well on your way to developing high blood pressure and cholesterol issues and all the negative preventable issues that are associated with being overweight, with being addicted to food, with eating fried chicken every day. That's everything that I was faced with. And as I sat on my couch, which is where I ate, which is where I slept, which is where I cried myself many nights to sleep, wondering, asking God if things would ever get better for me, if things would ever change, if I would ever feel good in my own skin, if I would ever find the strength to love myself, if I would ever be able to let someone in to show me love and attention and affection, all the things in which I desired, that I was motivated to achieve, motivated to get. I had to first get off of the couch, which is why I named the book Girl, Get Off the Couch, because it was the first thing I told myself to start this journey. It wasn't that I was on the journey and this something magical happened. I said, girl, get off the couch. No, I was on the couch crying, praying, and said, Radisha, girl, get off the couch. That's the first thing I said, girl, get off the couch. Because I had to take one simple step, which was getting off the couch to get on the journey towards healing. So today I encourage you to take one step, make one decision, one simple decision towards your journey towards healing. For me, I had to get my butt off the couch, which is where I spend all my time. But getting off the couch, even if you're not the person that's on the couch like I was, getting off the couch is symbolic to taking the first step towards healing. That's what it is. It's not about actually laying on the couch, which is where I actually was, but it's symbolic. It's a symbolic statement of taking one step forward. And when I got off the couch, it's not like I just started running marathons. overnight. No, I got off the couch my first step was drinking water. Something very simple, something that people do all the time that's so healthy. It's just something that I didn't do because my drink of choice was sweet tea. Hey, I'm in the South. If you're going to have fried chicken, of course you got to have sweet tea with it, And in the South, sweet tea is more like a little bit of tea and a lot of sugar, which is how I loved it. But my body didn't love it. It didn't make me feel good. In fact, it increased my depression intensity. And so if you're someone that's struggling with anxiety or depression or sad mood, and you find yourself eating a diet high in sugary items, let me tell you that sugar intensifies your symptoms. So if you're kind of sort of sad already, a diet high in sugar will magnify that sadness, will magnify that emptiness, will magnify that loneliness. So one of the first steps towards healing is reducing the amount of not only sugar but processed foods in your diet, because we are what we eat. And that's one of the pieces that I talk about in the book in detail. I give you a meal plan because it is something that traditional therapists aren't trained to talk about. Like, I remember during all my years of training, we never talked about, I never got from a professor or a supervisor or in all the different certifications that I have, we never specifically talk about the relationship with food and your mood. These are things that from my own personal journey, as well as being a licensed therapist, that I've learned along the way. I have taken advanced study in nutrition, advanced study in specific dietary programs and nutritional programs, because through my own struggle, through my own healing, I realized very quickly the importance of the right foods in our diet to help support and provide us mental help, H-E-L-P. To get mental help, we need the right foods to help us on our journey. And I wanted to share that information because so many people didn't know it. Even as a licensed therapist, I didn't inherently know it through my educational process. My formal educational training did not tell me about the relationship between food and your mood. And the fact that if you want transformation, if you want healing, if you want to feel better and have a dramatic change, you have to look at your diet as well as dealing with the trauma that you faced. Starts with the mindset, dealing with the trauma, traumatic events, walking through that pain, finding healing, and on that journey, stopping the abusive behaviors with food and adopting a healthy lifestyle. That's how you get the permanent weight loss. But weight loss is not the ultimate goal. I know it's what we all want, and that's what certainly I wanted, but weight loss is just a step in it. What the ultimate goal is to be able to look in the mirror every day and love the person that you see staring back at you. What a thought, be able to look in the mirror and love that person. For so many years, I looked in the mirror and I did not like the person that I saw looking back at me. And that reinforced my negative coping skills of using food to feel better. That's how I dealt with it. That's how I got to 220, 240, 260 pounds. And in fact, I really don't know what the final weight is because at around 220, I stopped weighing myself completely. You know, you go in complete denial because, of course, it's the scale is not actually me gaining the weight, as I told myself. Something's wrong with the scale because it keeps going up as I continue to eat fried chicken and drink sweet tea. I was convinced that there was something wrong with my scale and it wasn't me gaining more weight. However, my pants got smaller and smaller. I was finding a harder time getting into my pant sizes. But I continued to make excuses because I wasn't ready to get off the couch to start the journey. So I talked to you today very candidly and very openly about my own personal struggles, not because it's the easiest thing in the world, but it's because this is how you get healing. And this is how I found healing. This is how I've been able to keep it off for the last 8 years or whatever, 9 years. Because I found peace, I found healing, I found balance. And I want to help you find it as well. I want to give you the secret as well. And I thought the best way to do that is by telling my personal story and my personal journey so that you know and understand that depression has no face, it has no name, it doesn't care where you live, it doesn't care how much money you have, it doesn't care how many degrees you have, it doesn't care if you're in a high-rise condo apartment or if you're living in the ghetto. Depression doesn't care, and it strikes everybody across the board. And in fact, depression is the number one cause of disability worldwide. So it's not even just a problem here in the United States. Worldwide, depression is the number one cause of disability. And it's also the number one cause of people committing suicide. So in order to tackle this crisis that we're in, we have to get to the root cause. The root cause of all of these things is how we think and how we feel about ourselves. And I always say the most important relationship you will ever have in your life, besides the one you have with your higher power, God, is the one you have with yourself. It is not the one you have with your significant other. It is not the relationship you have with your children. It is not the relationship you have with your church family or your work family or your civic organization family. No, it is the relationship you have with the person that you see in the mirror every day. The person that you take around, that's with you all day, every day, and the person that you can't hide your secrets from, which is yourself. No matter how hard you try to cover up the pain, to cover up the hurt, to cover up the anxiety, to cover up the depression, the person that's with you all the time, which is yourself, knows it, feels it, lives it. That's what it was for me, and that's certainly what it is for millions of people that are struggling, just like me. And so I want you to know, if you are struggling, you're not alone. You just need to take that one simple step towards a healthy journey. One simple step. That's all I'm suggesting. I'm not telling you to rearrange your entire life. I'm not telling you to go tomorrow to a gym and start lifting weights. All I'm saying is I'm asking you to consider taking one simple step towards your healing. And it could start with purchasing a book, reading a book, sharing the information. All right, we will continue this conversation right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back with more Therapy Matters with Dr. Radisha.
Hey ladies, have you heard? Dr. Radisha is giving away freebies to help you on your wellness journey. All you have to do is sign up online at girlgetoffthecouch.com and take advantage of this free offer. Again, head over to girlgetoffthecouch.com today.
Welcome back to Therapy Matters with Dr. Radisha. If you're just tuning in, you're missing a wonderful, intimate conversation that I'm having with myself about my new book, Girl, Get Off the Couch, Stop the Self-Hate, and Lose the Weight. So it is Amazon's newest best-selling book. I am now a best-selling author, which is completely amazing, completely unexpected. This book is my personal journey, my personal intimate story of being 220, 240 pounds to transitioning, adopting a healthy lifestyle, to changing my mind, my body, and my spirit to becoming a size 6. And I emphasize that size is not the answer. Size 6 is not the end-all, be-all, but it was my story, my testimony, a healthy size 6. So I share my journey in hopes of helping other women. That's why the book is Girl, Get Off the Couch. And I always get flack from the guys, hey, what about the guys? And I understand guys, men, you guys struggle as well with some of the same issues we as women do. Depression is across the board for men and women, anxiety for men and women. And so I encourage you to pick up the book as well, to share it with your loved ones, to read it and share the information. But I wanted to be authentic in why I wrote the book, in that I wrote it specifically to women because we know statistically with one woman changing her lifestyle. So one woman adopts a healthy lifestyle, changes how she eats, changes how she thinks, changes how she feels about herself. She becomes empowered and goes after her hopes and dreams. We know with changing one woman's lifestyle, we impact 10 women. We impact 10 people, not just we impact 10 people. Because women, as soon as you find healing and happiness and balance, the first thing you do, you tell your friends, you tell your family, you tell your coworkers, and through that process, other people find healing, other people find restoration. So I encourage you to go out and get the book, Girl, Get Off the Couch, Stop the Self-Hate, and Lose the Weight. You can get it on Amazon.com. I want you to read it, and then I want you to share the information with your sister, with your neighbors, with your coworkers, with your church members. Share it with other women that are struggling. And for every woman that you share the information with that adopts a healthy lifestyle, that changes her mindset, you're telling 10 people. And that's how we impact the community. That's how we start decreasing the high rates of these preventable diseases that are related to weight. We can impact that. We can decrease the number of new cases of diabetes. We can decrease the number in folks taking cholesterol medication because they have a balanced diet. We can do that. We as a community can do that. Part of the change in the healthy lifestyle that I've adopted includes affirmations. That's why I talk so boldly and openly and continuously about affirmations. I end each show with affirmations because it's so powerful, because we are just hit from every angle on a daily basis with negativity, negative news reports, negative images, negative stereotypes, negative things happening. And so we're filled with negative. So we need to fill our emotional cups, our cups up with positive things, with positive images, with positive feelings. And affirmations help us do that. And specifically, I love 3 affirmations because there are 3 things that I've certainly struggled with, and there are 3 things that most people struggle with. The first one is feeling like you're powerful, because when you're in a place like I was, laying on a couch crying, feeling depressed, feeling hopeless, you feel powerless. You feel like you have no ability, authority, willpower to change. So one of the first affirmations that I adopted was, I am powerful. 3 very simple words, but it helps. It helps me, it helps you, it helps whoever's using it to take back their power, to take back their authority, to feel empowered, to feel in control, to feel like, hey, I have the inner strength and the capability to accomplish a healthy lifestyle. I have the inner strength and the ability to accomplish getting a promotion. I have the inner strength and the ability to accomplish going to school and finishing school. I have the ability and the willpower to start a business. Whatever it is, the thing that you feel powerless against, saying that I am powerful helps you to walk into your power, helps you to feel empowered, helps you to take a step forward towards achieving whatever that goal is for you, helps you down your path of healing. So I use it all the time, and it's been a staple since I started this health journey, this healthy lifestyle, and it will continue to be a staple in this journey as I continue this healthy lifestyle. The second affirmation that I use on a daily basis that was so important as I was transitioning from being on the couch, being depressed, being anxious, feeling hopeless, helpless, was feeling worthy. You think about the word worthy, and so many things come to mind, but it's essentially a feeling like whatever's going on, whatever's happening, that I'm worth an effort. I'm worth the change. I'm worth the energy and the resources needed to accomplish that goal. Because so many of us, including myself, I didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel like investing money was important. I was important enough to invest money to help me go get a therapist because I wasn't worthy. Why would they care about me? I'm just a nobody. I'm just lost. I'm just a big girl on the couch that eats fried chicken. Why would anybody really care? And that thought process is what kept me continually in that cycle, that negative cycle of eating, sleeping, crying, eating, sleeping, crying, eating, sleeping, crying. It kept me in that cycle because I constantly told myself I wasn't worthy. So in order to change that mindset, to change that dynamic, I had to tell myself that I was worthy and start to slowly believe it. The first time I said it, I wasn't automatically, I didn't automatically feel it. The first time I said it, I wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm worthy. No, it took time, it took energy, it took effort before I was ready and before I could say it with authority and commitment and power, I am worthy. And so now I'm able to say I am worthy and to believe it in my soul and my spirit because I know I was uniquely made for this journey that I'm on. So are you. So are you. You are so uniquely, wonderfully made for the journey that you have in front of you, whatever that journey is. And we have to start changing dynamic of our mindset so that we can find healing, we can find balance, we can find peace internally. Not externally, but in our hearts, in our minds, in our souls. The last affirmation that I use that was so important as I transitioned from laying on the couch, crying, sleeping, eating, to developing a healthy lifestyle was I am enough. Oh, and it says so much. I am enough. I don't have to be anybody, anything different. I don't have to be taller. I don't have to have longer hair. My skin doesn't have to be a different complexion. I don't have to have a different name. I don't have to be from California. I am enough in the moment in this weight, in this time. I am enough. 3 simple words, but tremendously powerful and changed my life. I meditated on those words. I said them over and over. I wrote those words in my journal until I started to open my heart and to receive that information internally and start to believe that information internally. I am enough. I am enough, and so are you. For whatever journey that lies ahead of you, for whatever dreams you have, you are enough in that moment to accomplish whatever your heart desires, whatever those dreams are that you wish to have. I believe it, and I need you to start believing it as well. So those were my 3 very simple yet powerful affirmations that helped me on my journey. I talk about very candidly in my book my struggles, the traumatic events that had happened, how I was able to find balance, how difficult it was. Because some people make, like you lose weight overnight. It was not overnight. Let me repeat. It was not overnight. I didn't find peace and balance overnight. But every step got me closer. Every step got me closer. No matter how small, it was a step closer to my journey, to my path, to the path of healing. And so I want to encourage you today to start your journey. Or if you're on a journey, to incorporate affirmations along the way. Start changing that inner critic inside to start adopting a positive mindset about yourself so that you can achieve whatever dreams you have. So that's why I wrote Girl, Get Off the Couch, Stop the Hate, Stop the Self-Hate, and Lose the Weight. And I encourage you to grab the book and write a review and mostly share the information. I am getting, inboxes and emails from women kind of all over the United States and a couple out of the country that are just thanking me for being so candid. And so that's what makes it worthwhile, is hearing from you how it helped change your life, how it helped change someone else's life. Because it's a very difficult thing, being very open and honest. But it is my truth. And I walk in my truth because from being and standing in my truth, I've found healing, I've found restoration, I've found peace, I've found a healthy lifestyle, and I've adopted a positive mindset. So I want the same for you. So head on over to Amazon.com, grab a copy of Girl, Get Off the Couch, Stop the Self-Hate, and Lose the Weight, and then share the information with somebody you know, somebody that you love, maybe somebody you don't like. Share it with them because we're all suffering internally. We're all in a fight for our mental wellness. We're all in a fight for our mental wellness. And so you can head on over to my website, girlgetoffthecouch.com, to get more information, to look at T-shirts and all the other things that I have surrounding the book. And certainly you can always reach out to me on social media at Dr. Radisha Brown on Facebook and Instagram, or you can head on over to my website, girlgetoffthecouch.com. If you have a compelling story that you would like to share with our audience, certainly send me an email, send me an inbox on Facebook, and you could be a next guest on the show, because I want to feature real people. That's what this show is about, showing real people and showing their authentic self and struggles that they've had, but they've been able to overcome whatever the struggles they face. That's what this show is about. That's what I try to do with all the platforms and the mediums that I have available to me. And I so appreciate you tuning in. I so appreciate you listening and providing me feedback and supporting the work in which I do, because we can make a change in our community. It only takes one simple step towards our journey. That's it. All right. I'm Dr. Radisha. Until next time, see you later.
Thank you for tuning in to Therapy Matters with Dr. Radisha. Join us again